The second expansion of the One-Piece card game, Paramount War, is getting a pre-release event. Your local game store has the option of hosting a tournament for a stamped smoker card. The interesting part about the tournament is that along with the regular Constructive format, stores have the option to run a sealed format. What does the sealed format entail, you might ask? Well, it seems like we'll get 6 packs of OP02, and then we construct a 40 card deck using those packs. We can use any leader we own, along with any leaders we pull in those 6 packs. This means all the leaders from OP01 and the starter decks are also valid. There's also no color restrictions for deck construction, meaning you can use any cards with any leader, opening up a bunch of synergies and possibilities that were not possible before. This really is unprecedented territory. This is the first time a sealed format is available and we don't have a Japanese metagame to learn from. So this video is just speculation on my part and me applying principles from another card game that has a thriving limited format, Magic the Gathering. But don't worry, I'm here to help. I'll be going over which leaders I think you should pick, and I'll also be going over what cards from OP02 you should include in your deck. And we'll see if we can turn you from Card D Kaizo Fool to Card D Kaizo Cool.
Card D Kaizo Gu.
Let's start off by going over each of the new leaders coming with OP02 that you might open in your packs. Edward Newgate. Do not play Whitebeard. He's basically a suicide leader without proper support. This support reaches deep into OP01 and even the Luffy starter deck. And since we won't have access to this, you will have a very bad time playing as Whitebeard. Garp. His ability is too niche for a limited format. Being at 4 life is a really big detriment too. Kinemon. He doesn't gain any benefit for you without 1/0 cards, and most of the common and uncommons are in OP01. So it'll be really hard to get any value out of him with the 1/of Yamato or Odin in your deck. Sanji. He's too clunky to run without events from OP01 and the starter decks. And being at 4 life without being able to fully utilize your dual color leader ability is too risky. Ivankov. I would say he's the only viable leader in OP02. Card draw is just such a strong effect in a limited format. Magellan. Too niche of a requirement in a sealed environment.
Smoker. He would only be good if your opponent played a 1-cost character that you never got rid of to get value out of his leader ability. Other than that, he doesn't provide much benefit without the full black package.
Z. Without the full proper support of black, his leader ability is only hitting small cards. This will end up being pretty useless late game. I would say if you're able to pull a lot of sources of cost reduction from your packs, it might be possible to run Z, but I wouldn't risk it, being at 4 life. That covers the new OP02 leaders. Next I'll be going over past leaders that I think would be viable. Kaido. Honestly, the basic playstyle you want to adopt in a limited format is how a regular Kaido deck plays already anyway. Removal and big bodies is how Kaido operates, so I would imagine his leader ability being just as good in sealed. Being able to get that guaranteed life could make the difference. Kid. His leader ability is amazing regardless of whatever the rest of your deck ends up doing. With the scarceness of card draw in sealed, it may be a little difficult to use it willy-nilly, but having a second attack available is amazing as both a finisher and a board equalizer. Luffy. Always being able to max out spending your Dawn on characters and then being able to attack with leader for 6k is a very strong advantage, given how limited on 2k counters everyone will be. Your hits will connect more often than not, as it would cost 2 1k counters to stop it. Doing this every turn really adds up in pressure. Zoro. For the same reasons 1 extra Dawn is strong for Luffy, Zoro can do that, but with each of your characters. The limited availability of 2k counters makes Zoro buffed characters really hard to defend against. You will have to tailor your deck a little differently playing Zoro, as you'll want more lower cost characters to go wide with, but that also means a lot more cards are viable for your deck. Ivankov and the Straw Hat film cycle of cards also work really well with Zoro since they often let you play additional characters for free. As for the character cards of OP02, I've broken them down into 4 tiers. We have to fill a 40 card deck with 66 cards to choose from, so it's more about picking what cards not to include, but hopefully this list helps you make that decision. Some of the things we want to look for are card draw, removal, and bombs. The peculiar thing with the One Piece card game is that a lot of the card draw is in the form of searchers who only search certain types of characters, making generic card draw effects all the more valuable. Let's dive into the S tier. These are cards you should include no matter what. First off, every 2k counter is a must include. They are necessary for winning trades and defending life. The pool of available 2k counters will be very scarce, so you should include all the ones that you get. Edward Newgate. He gives you defense and offense. He can take out small blockers for 2 Dawn as well. I'd say he's the best bomb in the set. Ace. Minus 3k to 2 targets is an invaluable effect in a limited format. Most games will devolve into out-trading and outvaluing your opponent's board with yours, and Ace can allow a cheaper character to be able to take out a higher cost character. He's 7k himself too, which is at that sweet spot number for difficult countering. Vista. Removal with the body. Filling a 40 card deck with 66 cards will be hard. Unless your opponent high rolls their packs, they will be forced to use cards that have 3000 power or less, so you'll get value out of Vista. You can also hit chump blockers and support cards with them too. Odin. His activate main ability is stupid good in this format. Being able to take out 2 targets or even just using it to keep him safe from attacks is more than worth it. His on KO effect is quite usable too, even though it sounds very restrictive. Being able to search from your deck means you can just include any Wano Country card and not worry about ever drawing it. I'd say the blocker Nekomamushi is the best target. I would say Odin is one of the stickiest cards in the format. Yamato. Yamato is as strong as a vanilla and can turn board states around in your favor, since it puts you in the driver's seat of trades. At 4 Dawn, she's good on curve or even on later turns as a second card to play. Kobe. Very strong removal. The 3 cost threshold is what most decks will be looking to fill their decks with anyway. Though the price is very steep, you can think of it like this. The counter you would have used to save your attacker after killing their character is the card that you discarded to guarantee the KO with Kobe. Did that make sense? Sakazuki. I'd say best removal in the set, even in Constructed. All the same good points as Kobe, but like times 10. Borsalino. A blocker with the vanilla stat line on your opponent's turn. Also immune to removal. Best blocker in the game. Kuzan. Generic draw effect is very strong in a war of attrition. He replaces himself and can activate a few of your filler black cards like Strawberry or Onigumo. 10 cost Kuzan. Bomb with free removal. It's like playing a jet pistol and a vanilla Shanks, but for only 10 Dawn and it only takes up 1 card slot. This one's a no-brainer. Uta. Bomb stat line and an anthem effect that lasts until your next turn. She's a free Dawn for all your attacking characters, and a free 1k counter for when you need to defend them after. Great card. Ivankov. 7k body that can bring out another character for free, with Crocodile being the prime target. 2 7k bodies for 7 is a huge power swing. Ivankov can also draw you up to 3 cards in the late game, which is a gargantuan advantage. Thatch and Mihawk. 8k is high enough to contend with some of the other bombs like Odin, Ace, and Uta. They also have 1k counter if you need it. Little Oars Jr. He swings over every other bomb besides Whitebeard and Kuzan. He has 1k counter too, so he's useful even in hand. Next is the A tier. These cards are great and should be also included. Atmos, Zoro, Gecko, Sphinx, and Jaguar D Sol. The stat line isn't high enough to contend with the bombs, but 6k is useful for hitting enemy leader with the scarcity of 2k counters around. Frankie, Kingdu, and Crocodile. 7k is a sweet spot for almost guaranteed damage against enemy leaders. 7 cost Luffy. Being at 7k power for 7 Dawn makes him slightly too low to be an S tier. But he has blocker and he can potentially let you play another character for free. If you happen to have a lot of the Straw Hat film cards, then it synergizes really well with Luffy. Inazuma. Every match will reach the point where everyone is running on fumes and top decking, so Inazuma's plus 2000 effect is an eventuality. Being a 7k for 4 Dawn is really good value. Even without the extra 2k, she has a standard blocker stat line anyway. Arabesque Brick Fist. Good tool to swing offensive priority to your side. Forces your opponent to be down 1 character. Good trigger too. Hell's Judgment. Amazing defensive tool. Being able to stop 2 attacks is invaluable. Hydra. Basically Hell's Judgment light, but still good. Isuka. Being able to untap herself will make her a really sticky offensive card and help you build board advantage as they can't attack into her. Hina. Another amazing defensive card. Being at 6k means no free leader attacks. She can also stop an additional attack with her on block effect, allowing you to keep your board alive. Venaison Shoot. Decent removal, and you'll definitely have vanillas in hand for its trigger. Douglas Bullet. Worse Yamato, so 1 tier lower. Brindy World. Quite an expensive card for only 8k power, but it's still high enough to at least contend with the other bombs. Next is the B tier. You won't have enough to fill 40 cards with just S and A cards, so these are just the next best choices. 6 cost Luffy. Great effect in Constructed, but 2 cards is too steep of a price in Sealed, so he's just a big body with the potential to use his effect if you really need to. Marco. Outside of a Whitebeard deck, he's just a vanilla blocker. Usopp, Solitaire, Yamakaji. At least they can hit leader and have 1k power. Brook. You can combo him with Usopp or Nami to get good value, but it won't be too consistent. Paradise Totsuka. Good tool for trading. You can try to get rid of a character before it can attack or get a pesky blocker out of the way. Trigger is good too. Doflamingo. Lets you control the variance of your next turn for 1 Dawn. Mr. 3. Standard blocker with the option of keeping himself safe. It lets you use him offensively and defensively, but at a steep cost. But I like the flexibility. Domino, Don Quixote Rosinante. Good chump blocker. Magellan. Only good if you can play him on curve. He helps you outpace your opponent. Mino Koala. Standard blocker. Neko Mamushi. Standard blocker, but can be comboed with Odin. C tier is anything else with at least 5k power. These are your filler cards. If you're playing Zoro, you can also include 4k power cards. This includes cards like Squard, Nami, Boa, Morley, Daifugo, Minotaur, Onigumo, Strawberry, and Tashigi. Deathwink and Onigiri would also go here. At this point, you'll probably have exhausted this list and still have some slots to fill, so fill it with whatever synergies you drafted or anything that has 4k power. I'll show a sample pre-release deck from 6 random packs that I picked out. I'll be using MXL's pre-release simulator. I'm going to assume it works, and then the 6 packs are what would be the 6 packs we get during the pre-release event. There's no way of knowing for sure, but this is all we've got. Let's see what we get from our 6 packs. Alright, we get a Atmos, we'll include him. Curly Dodon, nope. Kingdu, yes. Thatch, yes. Jozu, 2k counter, we'll add him. We got 2, nice. Vista is a yes. Ace is a yes. Marco's a yes. Usopp's a yes. Chopper's a yes. Frankie, 2 Zoros. Onigiri is nice. We got an Ivankov leader. We could play him, but we'll see what the rest of the packs hold. Crocodile, Hancock. We'll add 1 Morley for now and see if we need to use him as a filler. Mr. 2, Sadi, good 2k counters. We'll add Solitaire. Daifugo actually kind of hurts us. We'll play Domino. Burndy World as our bomb. 2 Hydras is good. Isuka is good. Sengoku 2k counter. The Tashigis are okay. Tsuru 2k counter. Rosinante blocker. Oh, Yamakaji is good too. Alright, time to go back and pick through the filler cards. Even after our first pass, we only got 34 cards. We need 6 more. I guess we'll use these Morleys. I have to be really desperate to use Daifugo. We'll add another Brindy World since we don't have any other bombs. Smoker would be nice. We still need 3 more cards. Let's take a look through them all again. We'll add Inuarashi for now. I think I'll be running Zoro. We'll add these Doberman. And then Zoro. Actually, I just noticed I missed the Sengoku here. We'll replace our Doberman with him. And this is our deck. Here's the deck in a more visual format. I'm gonna guess everyone's deck is gonna look a little something like this, and it might come down to just the luck of your packs. We were able to pick up 8 2k counters, 3 defensive events, and 4 blockers. We managed to get 4 bombs in Ace, Thatch, and 2 Burndy Worlds. I would consider this a decent sealed deck. Well, I hope this video gives you an idea on what to expect and helps you with your pre-release events. If it turns out my speculative advice is actually hot garbage in practice, I'll officially change my YouTube channel name to Car D Kaizo Fool. Okay, bye.
Car D Kaizoku.